Thank you so much for coming back to my channel. I'll definitely say thank you so much. These are just several projects I've been working on. They're super simple, so I'm not doing any how-tos because I'm sure these are things everybody out there has already done for themselves. If for any reason you want me to, I can certainly do them. But these are all being donated to a Japanese senior center that my mom goes to, and just for anybody to take if they want it. First thing I did was a bunch of bookmarks, as you can see here. And on the back, I decoupaged Japanese newspaper. And then these ones are the Japanese newspaper, but they're the pictures of food that was in there, just for a little bit of difference and some fun. I made 10 of those. Then I made just 2 sets of 5 of gift tags, and they all say to or from on the back. I just stamped that on there. And then they either have stickers, wall decals, or origami paper. And then there's 5 different ones in the set for each on there for whoever takes these, and you know, for use as gift tags that are non-holiday related. Because you could use them at the holiday if you want to. So 2 sets of those. I made, I think there's 8 of these notepad covers. And these are the super simple, just 1 strip of paper, and I have to cover it over like this. And then instead of using, sometimes people use magnets or Velcro, I just made the little tuck spot for this. And I simply matched as close as I could. It's not perfect, as you can tell, with another piece here. I don't know if you can see that. Here, for each one of these, just didn't want to have to go buy Velcro dots or anything. Maybe this one might, you'll be able to see this one better. So exact same thing. See if I can get my fingernail underneath there. See, it lifts up right there. You just tuck it in like that. And I just, like I said, I just matched them up as close as I could to the other one. And then I used Hobby Lobby stickers that I got on clearance for decor. Then I made a bunch of these little notepads, also super simple, almost exactly the same, except for these, as you can tell, is just regular lined paper. Also, I got at Dollar Tree, and I just got a pack. I think there was 100 in them, maybe 80 or 100, you know, loose leaf lined paper, and I just cut them into 4 sections. I made, I think there's 8 of these as well. For this one, I did do the decoupage like I did on the bookmarks. I had leftover piece, so I used it for this, and the same flower. And I just made them into pads like you normally do, where you put the glue across the top, and then the rest of them are all made the same except for the decor on the outside, and of course the paper itself is different. I decoupaged this origami paper, used this as a top. I used 4 different sheets of scrapping paper, made a really big sheet, and then just put it up into sections, and they were on poster board. And then just decorated the top. Another one that's the fish one. This one here. This one I just used a chipboard decor. It says "Live Life in Full Bloom." Again, all the same. On here, depending on which way. So this one I cut that way, this way one I cut this way. I used a piece of chipboard again. This is a Dollar Tree piece of ribbon. This is origami paper again, and this is origami paper where I just put one on either side. So just a variety. And then final thing I made out of this sketchbook one. This was the front cover. I didn't need it, but what I did is I cut it into 3, so like this. So this is the spiral is still on here. This is the bottom. I used duct tape to cover to bind the top. The pages here, I used, again, the glue method where you just glue across the top to make it into a notepad. This is the back of the original art sketch thing. And then these flowers were not this color. I actually used the fabric paint pens, these things, to turn light pink flowers into the colors I wanted it to be. And then I used different things to make the middle. And you can see they're all pretty similar to each other, and just made 3 separate notepads out of those. And just so that if somebody doesn't like lined paper, they have something that is not lined. So that's everything that I've been working on. Again, it's all super simple, nothing fancy, just trying to get back into the groove of things. So, gosh, I sound like I'm from the 70s. Anyway, if you need any additional details on these, just let me know in the comments, and I will reply. If anybody wants to see me how I made them, I can definitely show an example of that. So I definitely appreciate you for checking out these little projects. I hope you've been having fun crafting as well. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one. Bye-bye. So I decided to film this portion. I wasn't going to originally, but I thought, well, if I show the finished projects, then showing it what I was doing along the way might be helpful. So I just decoupage. So this is just some Japanese newspaper from my mom. I used a decoupage paper. I did a bigger sheet than this, but I used most of it. I also used some of the pictures of the Japanese food from them as well. And I'm just using poster board from the Dollar Tree. Then used some scrapbooking paper, and these are just some of the extra cutoffs that I used some extra poster board to put them onto. And then I have bigger pieces of this one. And I tried this version, I tried this version, I did this version. Not sure what's actually going to make it to a project and what's not. But just to show you what I've been doing some really easy crafts for. And so that's just the paper ones I've made so